Hey, what's up, Kingdom Promotions fans? Nathan Kirby here. I'm sitting with UFC fighter Cole Miller. So Cole, we're talking about your record as a pro. You are 18 and 7. And in the UFC, you already have 12 fights in the UFC. Made your UFC debut, Ultimate Fighter 5 finale.
Yep.
Yeah.
2007.
So, yeah, that was a while back. So you've been fighting. So tell everybody. I mean, we understand here Kingdom Promotions is great. We got amateurs and pros, but I mean, UFC level fighters. There's such a separation. How many amateur fights did you have?
I had 10.
10 AMmy fights. Okay. So from that amateur level to where the UFC, what is the biggest difference?
Aside from the money, you know, the level is just a lot higher now. You know, back when I was fighting as an amateur, first off, nobody's really good at anything, but you think you're good at one thing. I mean, that was like, that's fair. It's like most of the amateurs back then in 2003 or so, like you had one thing that you were goodish at. Right. And then once you turn pro, you got two things you're goodish at, you know, good-ish at. And then once you make it to the UFC, everyone is good. They are acclimated. They are well versed in two things, and they're goodish at that third thing. Yeah. So it's just being well rounded. You know, as you climb up the ranks, you'll see that it's just everyone. You drill more, you train more. You know, you go from living that amateur lifestyle, maybe training one time a day, 3 nights a week. You know. And then you jump
3 times a day, 5-6 days a week.
Right. You know, you're doing twice a day, 6 days a week. Yeah. You know, things like that. So it's just a different kind of lifestyle you lead when you're at the high level, and then when you get to the high level, you're training with other high level guys. Yeah. You know, like-minded people with similar goals and things like that. Especially if you switch to a major team, you know, like I did with American Top Team. But you know, it's the money. It's
fast, man. It's just so fast.
It's faster. It's harder. The transitions come out of nowhere, and you can't think about things anymore. You just got to react because these people drill these moves and these techniques all day.
Well, you guys kind of missed it this weekend. You know, Cole Miller, Dean Thomas here in Little Rock at Westside doing an MMA seminar. And I'm telling you, if you get an opportunity, guys, you got to take the opportunity to go and train with these guys. This is the information. These guys have been there. You want to talk about going to war? They've been at war. Speaking of which, what was your greatest war?
Greatest war was against George Gurgel at UFC 86. That was Mandalay Bay in 2008. I was a purple belt at the time. He was a long-time black belt already, and he tore my knee in the first round. I had to have surgery about a month after the fight, and you know, I just fought through it. I had 3 cuts on my face, and I came back to the win, you know, for the submission win. But like you were saying, you know, the biggest thing now with guys, especially these upcoming amateur fighters, is their accessibility to, you know, before when I was an amateur, it's like once a year someone came within driving distance of you, you know, and what I considered driving distance was 6 hours. You know, now it's, you know, people are, you know, you have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts and Muay Thai specialists and you know, wrestling All-Americans and UFC fighters at your disposal. And it's important to take advantage of that, you know, so when you know, guys like Dean or myself come to town, it's important to go to these seminars. I remember I was just like, oh my God, I was freaking out. I went to everything.
Who was it? Who was your greatest seminar?
As far as jaw-dropping for me, it was Shogun and Ninja Hua. This was during the Pride days. Also, this was like 2003.
My favorite.
2003 or 2004, and they came to Atlanta at the time because I'm from Georgia originally. That's where I started my training, was in Georgia. And I drove up to Atlanta. It was like 2 hours away, and I went up there and I was just like mesmerized by these guys who I saw foot stomping everybody. But it's important, you know, and now that you have that accessibility, you know, these fighters are on Twitter, they're on Facebook, and they got fan pages, and they have websites. You can communicate with these guys. So it's kind of foolish if you think you want to be at that next level to not come to events like this.
Are you listening to that? Okay, I hear this all the time. You know, I've been promoting. This is going to be my 19th show for Kingdom Promotions. 19 here in Arkansas alone. Since I've only lived here for 4 years, and I've been involved in so many fights and so many shows. Pro, AMmy, with Monty Cox, Pat Miletich, and all those guys, and all these guys. I want to be a fighter. I want to be a fighter. I had 5 fights in the street alone last night.
Right.
Oh man, I'm telling you, if you want to be the fighter, you got to come and train like a fighter. So
you got to make sacrifices. Yeah. Like when that's the thing. The guys want to be at that next level. Do you? Because I tell you, it's not easy. And when I mean it's not easy, it doesn't mean sweating in the gym. It means sacrificing your family, your personal life, your social life, whatever you thought your career was. If you want this to be your career, you've got to ditch that. Like it's the ultimate gamble, because not everyone's going to be a UFC. You can't sign up for the UFC. You know, you got to work. You got to work really hard to maybe get there. And when you get there, getting there is not. First off, getting there is not easy. It's definitely not easy. But getting there and staying there is even harder than getting there was.
You got there, and then you got 12 fights from there. I mean, how did you get there? That's the first question people ask.
Well, you know, I was fortunate. I fought at a fight in the UFC matchmaker, Joe Silva. You know, is from Virginia, and I fought in Virginia against a guy that he went to look at, and then I beat that guy. And I just made the contact, and I stayed in touch. It wasn't like I got the call after that. It was like, just stay in contact. Oh, I won this fight. I won this fight by some kind of finish or whatever it was, and you know, and then I had the Ultimate Fighter opportunity. I got on.
Awesome.
I showed well. You know, I didn't win, but I showed well. Didn't win my season, but I was on there with a bunch of studs. Like Nate Diaz won that season. We had Joe Lozon. We had Gray Maynard.
Yeah.
We had Rob Emerson. We had Corey Hill. You know, we had Manny Gamburian. A bunch of guys are all still in the UFC, like still there. You know, I'm leaving some people out. I know we had a ton of guys. Oh, Matt Wyman. I thought Matt Wyman also. Yeah, he was good. Still is. But we had just a show full of demons, so I had a lot of guys get offered contracts, and then, like I said, getting there, you know, I thought was the hard part. No, staying there was the hard part. So it was just making even more sacrifices.
They're making a lot of cuts.
Yeah,
a lot of people getting cut.
So it was making sure I didn't ever lose 2 in a row. You know, it's win 2, drop 1. Oh man, I'm about to be on the chopping block. Can't lose that fight. You can't lose that second fight. So doing whatever it took to win.
That's constant pressure. How do you deal with that pressure all the time? I mean, it's not just pressure for the money and the paycheck. I mean,
it's for a job, because if you sacrifice all that stuff that I was talking about, you made sacrifices with your family life, your friends, your social life, maybe your college or whatever career you had. You sacrificed that, and you made it to the show. Well, you better stay there, because that's your career now. So when you're gone, it doesn't mean you're gone for good. I've seen Josh Neer's had four different contracts. You know, he's been cut, did his work and came back, then got cut again, did his work and came back. You know, won 3 in a row or had 4 or 5 fights, got cut again, and then came back. Like, that's the grind, you know. So it's not, you know, it's not like once you're gone for good. But once you're gone, it means sacrificing again. Are you willing to endure that?
Yeah. How can everybody get a hold of you? Can they find you? I know you said you have.
Yeah, I got a Twitter. It's at Cole Miller ATT, and then I have an official Cole Miller Facebook fan page. Check out my website, ColeMillerMMA.com.
Cole Miller, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kingdom Promotions fans. We'll see you in 2 weeks.